In the dead of night, as the country slept, a silent yet massive shift was underway. Beneath the vast American sky, a new world was being built, one of steel, concrete, and roaring engines. This was no ordinary construction. This was the creation of a network that would bind the country together like never before. The extensive highway network that now crisscrosses the United States, stretching for over 4 million miles, didn't just appear out of nowhere. All the U.S. state and interstate highways were carved into the earth by a series of advanced machinery, each instrument which played a crucial role in the grand progress of the project. But these roads weren't just pathways. They were the veins through which a nation's lifeblood would flow, pumping life into every corner of the land. This is the story of the heavy machinery that built America's highways, a tale of determination and days of pure hard work after a dream that forever changed the face of the nation. The story of the U.S. highways begins long before the first bulldozer touched the earth. At the turn of the 20th century, America was on the move. The initiative of the automobile, sparked by Henry Ford's mass production of the Model T in 1908, changed how people lived and worked. But the country's roads were not prepared for this new era. Most were little more than dirt paths, impossible to get through in bad weather, and incapable of supporting heavy traffic. The need for a national network of roads became increasingly important. The first major step towards creating a modern highway system came with the Federal Aid Road Act of 1916, which established federal funding for road construction. However, it was the Federal Highway Act of 1921 that set in motion the creation of national network highways. This act rejected the earlier practice of dispersing funds across a wide range of projects, and instead focused on constructing an interconnected system of primary highways. The 1921 Act mandated that each state designate 7% of its roads as primary highways, which would be eligible for federal funding. This shift in policy was crucial, as it laid the foundation for a coordinated national road system, ultimately leading to the development of U.S. highways. The Federal Highway Act of 1921 was followed by a series of legislative efforts to expand and improve the nation's road network. However, it wasn't until the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956 that the vision began to take shape. Signed into law by President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956 authorized the construction of the Interstate Highway System, a network of roads that would span the entire country. The act allocated $25 billion for the construction of 41,000 miles of highways, making it the largest public works project in U.S. history at the time. Eisenhower, influenced by his experiences with the German Autobahn during World War II, wanted a system of roads that would facilitate efficient transportation and enhance national defense by allowing for the rapid movement of troops and supplies. The interstate highway system was designed to connect major cities, facilitate trade, and promote economic growth. Its construction would take over 3 decades to complete, with the final segments finished in the 1990s. However, while the legislation provided the necessary funding and legal framework, it was the machinery that would bring this vision to life. The construction of the U.S. highways was nothing short of tremendous. It required the excavation of millions of tons of earth, the pouring of tons of concrete, and the laying of countless miles of asphalt. The exact scale of the project is difficult to tell, but over 75,000 cubic yards of earth were moved, and over 78,000 cubic yards of rock and concrete were used to create the smooth, durable surfaces that drivers rely on today. The work was tiring, and it stretched on for decades, with progress being made bit by bit, mile by mile. By 1992, the original goal of 41,000 miles had been exceeded, and today, the interstate highway system stretches over 47,856 miles, making it the world's largest highway system, with China's National Trunk Highway System leading the second. However, the construction process was not without its challenges. Discontinuities in funding, political opposition, and logistical difficulties all delayed the project at various points. For example, the oil crisis of the 1970s slowed progress massively, as did the rising cost of construction materials. But most important was the disruption to the communities through which the highway was built. As the highways cut their way through cities and towns, they left a trail of destruction in their wake. Entire neighborhoods were razed to make way for the new roads, displacing thousands of people and forever leaving a scar on the nation. The construction of highways through urban areas was particularly met with fierce opposition from local communities, who resented the loss of their homes and the disruption of their lives. One of the most notable examples is the destruction of the African-American community of Overtown in Miami, Florida, where the construction of Interstate 95 led to the displacement of nearly 10,000 residents. Similar stories played out in cities nationwide, from the Bronx in New York City to the Trem neighborhood in New Orleans. As the highway was being built, several intense protests were going on, resulting in the highway being rerouted or canceled altogether. The most famous of these cancellations is the Inner Belt in Boston, Massachusetts, where community opposition led to the halting of the project in 1971. These events showed the world the human cost of advancement, but it was a cost that was commonly overlooked in such grand projects. Building a network of highways that spans an entire continent is no walk in the park, and it comes with a hefty price tag. The construction of the U.S. highways was financed through a combination of taxes, user fees, and tolls. The Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956 established the Highway Trust Fund, funded by a federal gasoline tax of 3 cents per gallon. This fund provided the bulk of the financing for the construction of the highways, generating billions of dollars annually to support the project. In addition to taxes and user fees, tolls were also used to finance sections of the highway system. Approximately 2,900 miles of the interstate highway system were built as toll roads, with the revenue generated from tolls used to fund ongoing maintenance and expansion. While tolls were controversial, they were seen as necessary to ensure the continued expansion and maintenance of the highway system. The construction of the U.S. highways would not have been possible without the heavy machinery that did the work. From the massive bulldozers that cleared the land to the cranes that lifted the steel beams into place, each piece of machinery was a vital part of the operation. Here is a closer look at some of the most iconic machines that made the highways possible. Caterpillar D7. The Caterpillar D7 was a powerful bulldozer used to clear land for highways. Introduced in the 1930s, it was renowned for its durability and power. With a 6-cylinder diesel engine producing around 75 horsepower, it could quickly push tons of earth, making it an essential tool in the early stages of construction. The D7 was equipped with a heavy-duty blade, allowing it to cut through dense soil and vegetation, clearing the path for road crews to follow. Caterpillar number 12. The Caterpillar number 12 motor grader was necessary for creating the smooth surfaces required for the highways. Introduced in 1938, this machine featured a 12-foot-long blade that could be adjusted to build the slope and grade. It was powered by a 6-cylinder diesel engine, delivering up to 115 horsepower. John Deere MC. The John Deere MC, a compact crawler tractor, was used for various tasks, including clearing brush, grading land, and digging trenches. Introduced in 1949, the MC was powered by a 20-horsepower 2-cylinder engine. Its versatility and reliability made it a favorite among construction crews, particularly in areas where larger machines could not operate effectively. John Deere 570. Introduced in the 1960s, the John Deere 570 was another essential instrument used in highway construction. Powered by a 6-cylinder diesel engine, producing 90 horsepower, the 570 was known for its precision and ease of operation. It featured a fully hydraulic blade control system, which allowed operators to make fine adjustments whenever needed. Volvo H10. The Volvo H10, introduced in the 1960s, transport materials such as gravel, sand, and asphalt to the construction site. These machines were powered by a 6-cylinder diesel engine, delivering around 180 horsepower. The H10 featured a front-mounted bucket, which could be used to scoop up and transport large quantities of material quickly and efficiently. Its versatility made it a valuable asset in the construction of highways, particularly in areas where materials needed to be moved over long distances. Case 320. The Case 320 was a durable machine for digging, lifting, and loading materials. Introduced in the 1950s, it was powered by a 32-horsepower 4-cylinder gasoline engine and equipped with a front loader and a rear backhoe, allowing it to perform a variety of tasks. The 320 was particularly useful for digging trenches and laying pipes, making it a helpful tool for construction crews. Liebherr Tower Crane. The Liebherr Tower crane, first introduced in the 1950s, could lift heavy loads to heights, making them ideal for placing steel beams and other materials. The Liebherr cranes were known for their stability and precision, allowing construction crews to work safely and efficiently. Without these machines, the dream of a national network of highways would have remained just that, a dream. But with the power of these machines, that dream became a reality. As the highways spread across the nation, they brought deep changes to American life. The impact of the interstate highway system on the American landscape, economy, and culture cannot be overstated. The highways made long-distance travel easier and more accessible, connecting cities, towns, and rural areas like never before. They facilitated the growth of suburbs, allowing people to live farther from their workplaces, and they played a crucial role in developing the American economy by enabling the efficient transportation of goods. The interstate highway system facilitated the trucking industry's growth, which became the dominant mode of freight transportation in the United States. By the 1970s, trucks carried more than 60% of the nation's freight, which has continued to grow over the decades. Highways also played a crucial role in developing the tourism industry, making it easier for Americans to travel to new destinations and explore the country. The interstate highway system remains a significant part of the American economy and infrastructure. It has become a part of the daily lives of millions of Americans who rely on it for everything from commuting to work to transporting goods across the country. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when we release more great content. Thanks for watching Heavymatic. See you in the next one.